Before we begin tonight's story, allow your body to find stillness. The day has ended, the noise of the world is far away now. You are safe, warm, and surrounded by quiet. Take a slow breath in, and let it go. Tonight, we'll journey to a place where time moves softly, where candlelight flickers over wooden shelves, and the scent of ink and parchment fills the air. This is the story of the old library, not just a building of books, but a living, breathing memory of all who came before. Close your eyes and imagine stepping into a world where silence speaks, and the faint turning of a page sounds like a whisper from history. Long ago, in a stone-walled monastery nestled deep in the hills of Europe, there stood a great library. It was not grand in the way of palaces or cathedrals. There were no golden ceilings or marble floors, but it was a temple of calm and quiet. Each morning, as the first rays of sunlight touched the earth, soft light streamed through narrow windows. Dust motes floated like tiny stars above rows of wooden desks. The monks rose in silence, their sandals brushing gently across the cool flagstone floor. They carried candles in glass holders, their flames trembling as they passed between tall shelves. Each shelf was lined with ancient manuscripts, handwritten scrolls, bound volumes of vellum, and letters preserved through centuries. The air smelled faintly of beeswax, parchment, and lavender oil used to keep the pages from decay. Outside, birds called softly in the ivy that climbed the stone walls. Inside, the only sound was the quiet breath of pages turning. This was a world where time seemed to rest. Every morning began not with haste, but with reverence, a calm respect for the written word, for the fragile wisdom of those who had written before. The library had a caretaker, an old monk named Brother Aurelian. He had lived among the books for more than 50 years. His face was soft and lined, like well-worn paper, and his hands trembled slightly when he handled the fragile manuscripts. Every morning, he would walk slowly from shelf to shelf, whispering a small prayer over each row. He knew every book, not just its title, but its scent, its history, the faint pattern of ink left by the quill that had written it. Brother Aurelian spoke rarely, but the others said that when he touched a page, the ink seemed to brighten, as if the words themselves remembered him. He spent hours repairing broken bindings, gently dusting covers, and setting candles where the light was kind. At midday, he would sit by the great window, where sunlight poured onto the desk. There, with a cup of simple tea beside him, he copied words from one page to another. Not because he had to, but because he loved the act of preservation. In his slow handwriting, he found meditation. To him, each word was alive. Every letter held a story, a secret, a memory from another lifetime. And he treated each as if it were sacred. The library had its own rhythm, a quiet music made of gentle sounds. The faint rustle of parchment, the slow drip of wax from candles, the creak of old wood as the monks turned in their seats. Outside, a small garden grew, herbs and wildflowers tended by the younger brothers. Their scent drifted through the open arches, mingling with the smell of old paper. Sometimes, in spring, bees would wander inside, buzzing lazily near the inkpots before drifting out again. The monks believed that the library itself was alive, not in a ghostly way, but as a living memory. They said that at night, when all candles were extinguished, the air shimmered faintly with whispers, not frightening but kind. The voices of old scholars and scribes, softly retelling stories, breathing life back into their words. If you stood very still in the darkness, you might hear the faint rustle of unseen pages turning, as if the books themselves continued to read one another when no one was watching. One evening, as the sun sank and the candles were lit, Brother Aurelian noticed something unusual, a draft of cool air coming from behind one of the oldest shelves. He moved the shelf aside, revealing a narrow stone door covered in dust. Few had ventured behind it for centuries. He took a candle and stepped inside. The room was small, almost forgotten. Inside, he found scrolls sealed in wax and tied with silk cords, untouched by time. They were written in ancient languages. Some he recognized, others he did not. On one shelf, he found a small box carved with intricate designs of vines and stars. Inside the box was a feather, a writing quill so old that its edges had turned the color of amber. Alongside it was a note, written in faded ink. For the one who keeps the words alive. Brother Aurelian smiled faintly. He placed the quill on his desk, beside his inkpot, and began to write. He did not know what guided his hand that night, only that his heart was full of peace. That night, Brother Aurelian dreamed of the library, but it was not made of stone and wood. In his dream, it stretched endlessly across a soft golden plain. The shelves were made of light, and every book glowed faintly like a lantern. As he walked, the books opened on their own. Pages fluttered in a gentle breeze, revealing words that shimmered like stars. The air was filled with quiet voices, laughter, whispers, lullabies, from all across time. He realized then that the library was eternal. Every word ever written, every poem, every story, every quiet thought put to paper, they all lived here, together. Nothing was ever truly lost. He felt a calm joy, a deep peace that filled him completely. And when he woke, the candle beside him had burned down to its end, the morning sun once again painting the room in gold. The old library still stands today, though the monks are gone and the candles have long since burned away. The air inside still carries the faint scent of ink and time. If you listen closely, you can still hear it, the soft hum of centuries, the echo of pages turning. And perhaps, somewhere, Brother Aurelian still walks among the shelves, not in body, but in the gentle stillness that lives within every book. So as you rest now, imagine yourself there, in that quiet hall of knowledge and peace. The candlelight is dim, the night deep and calm. You can almost hear the heartbeat of history, slow, steady, eternal. Let it lull you to sleep. Let the whispers of the old library guide you gently into dreams, where the pages turn softly and time stands still.